Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. And today it's a triple preview. Okay, these are the teams that I personally don't know about you, Benj, but I personally think this is probably going to be the top three in the group stages of the IPL. So we've got Gujarat Titans, we've got Sunrisers Hyderabad, and we've got Rajasthan Royals. Now we have kind of left it a bit late with these previews, admittedly. You know, some holidays fell at the wrong time. It is what it is. But this is the important one. Because these teams are, I'd probably say, are the favourites. Gujarat, defending champions. Rajasthan, the runners-up, also got a very, very strong team, kind of strengthened a bit. And who's the other one? Sunrisers Hyderabad, who basically reinvented their team after a pretty woeful performance last year. So first one we're going to look at, defending champions Gujarat, because they have shuffled around quite a few of their players. So Benj, what is your kind of first reaction on this slightly different looking Gujarat Titans side?
Yeah, well, I think the main thing with Gujarat is they've still got a very strong core and a strong Indian core at that. They've got two class wicketkeeper batters in Ridhaman Saha and KS Barrett. But they've also got captain Hardik Pandya, who any team that he goes in, he creates balance because he can open the bowling and he can bat up the order and win games. Mohammad Shami has always been class in the IPL. And man of the moment, Shubman Gill, who I'd expect to see opening the batting for Gujarat. It's just really exciting to see what he's going to do in the IPL this year. And then they've invested really well in some of their overseas. They've kept a lot of the core the same. So Rashid Khan, David Miller are still there. But they've added Kane Williamson to that mix as well. Matthew Wade and Odin Smith, I think they retained both of them as well. No, Odin Smith was at Punjab last year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason they've got Odin Smith, I reckon we'll see Alzari Joseph play more than him.
Yeah.
If there's one area that I think they're a bit behind in, it's raw pace. So I think last year when they had Lockie Ferguson, that he was just able to go and blow batting lineups to shreds. But
you say that, but I'd say that.
But they have got Alzari Joseph, who is rapid as well. But he's not quite Lockie Ferguson, Mark Wood pace, is he?
I wouldn't want to face him. Alzari Joseph,
that's true.
He really does. He pushes the pace gun. I'd say
Josh
you're
Little,
right.
Sorry, I was just going to say about Josh Little. Is he going to play the first game of the IPL, or is he injured?
Good question. I'm hoping he wasn't injured, but I've got a feeling now that you said it, it's triggering something in my mind that says
That's it. Because the thing about him, I just want to call him out because he's the first Irish player to get into the IPL, and I think he's a class bowler. And I think he'd really help that attack. Whether he'll play, I don't think he will. He's got quite a lot of competition for those overseas slots, but yeah, class player.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of interesting to me is they've obviously released some of their kind of key players. So Lockie Ferguson was definitely one. And I think they got rid of Ramanullah Gurbaz as well. So a very kind of high intent overseas player. And they were replaced by kind of anchors. So Kane Williamson, a very slow batter, really, at his absolute peak. If he's like nailing everything, he's striking at about 140. They've also got obviously Shrikar Barrett, who's quite a slow batter. Ridhaman Saha has definitely been more of an anchor. So that's the one area that I see where I'm like, that's a bit interesting. That they could have some slow starters with the bat. Obviously, they finish well because if Tuatia and Miller play like they did last year, they're absolutely fine. But that's what almost all of Gujarat hinge on. In the same way that in the RCB preview, we said that if some of the players can have the same tournament as they had last year, for example, Dinesh Karthik, David Miller and Rahul Tewatia need to have the same tournament they had last year for Gujarat to get anywhere near the same level. I think their batting is where they could fall down a little. But obviously they've got bowling to back it up. And that was what we saw was so essential for them last time was, some of these great players like Mohammed Shami in the opening phases. Who else have they got? Obviously Alzari Joseph, I think is an incredible bowler. And then, Hardik Pandya, like I said, providing that balance. The one thing I'm not 100% sure on is spin as well, but we'll see. We'll see. But so far, Gujarat for me aren't going to defend their top 3 status.
Oof.
They're not going to defend their championship title. I'd say they're probably more likely to be closer to mid-table, potentially even missing out on the playoffs. I haven't learned from last year. I haven't obviously amended my thoughts because I had Gujarat like right near the bottom last year.
So you've said they're going to be top 3, but now you said they're going to be mid-table.
Yeah, I have. That was weird. Well, no, I think I said they were going to be favourites. Don't watch the start of the video. It all went wrong. No, I genuinely think that Gujarat will be kind of mid-table a bit more. I think there are teams that will probably do better than them. I definitely think the next 2 teams, Sunrisers and Rajasthan, are better and will do better. I think RCB and Lucknow will probably do better than Gujarat.
Interesting. I mean, I think for Gujarat, I think that they'll do better than Lucknow. I'm actually, in my rankings, putting Gujarat at 3rd. Just because I think that if they do have players that fire off, such as David Miller, we've talked about, then they'll be a force to be reckoned with. But they've also got such a strong core in, Rashid Khan, Hardik Pandya. They've got match winners in there, like Rashid Khan can win you a game. Like if he takes 4 for 20, that's a game won for him. I think they'll lose a game because they've got Odin Smith, who will lose a game for them, as he did for Punjab in the past. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Are we going to Sunrisers next or Rajasthan?
We'll go to Sunrisers next because I know that we've had a CN or multiple CNQs from Amar Reddy saying, when are you going to talk about Sunrisers? So Sunrisers next. On the Josh Little thing, he was ruled out of the PSL, not the IPL as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So Sunrisers basically reinvented their squad. They've now got Aidan Markram as captain. They've got Harry Brook and Heinrich Klaassen, Glenn Phillips. They've got basically batting wise, I'm going to say it, Sunrisers are looking way up there. If you're opening with Abhishek Sharma and Mayank Agarwal, and then you've got the likes of Aidan Markram, Heinrich Klaassen, and Harry Brook for the middle order, backed up ably by, the very aggressive Abdul Samad. And then you've got, other people. And I actually think one to watch, the James one to watch is Sanveer Singh, who I was reading some very in-depth stats the other day. And obviously he's from Punjab, so he's a bit of a legend already. But he has a T20 career strike rate of 186.
What?
At an average of 50. Bear in mind that includes 5 not outs. But he has scored in all of his T20s off, I think it's like 80% of the deliveries. So he doesn't play dot balls. He just scores. So he could very easily slot into that middle order. I haven't even mentioned Rahul Tripathi, who we know is incredible.
Yeah.
Sundar. And then, depending on conditions, the 4th overseas can be somebody like Adil Rashid or Marco Janssen. So, honestly, Sunrisers for me look really good.
Yeah, they're the full package, aren't they? They've also got I don't know how much you know about Nitish Kumar already. I'm going to give that one to you, James, because you seem to be the expert in young Indian talent. But they do seem to be the full package. They have a really strong pace attack. I think that because of that, because you know they've already got long-standing Natarajan and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, that we probably won't see, and Umran Malik. We probably won't see too much of Marco Janssen, although he is a really class player. I think they'd probably lean again, depending on conditions, to get the extra spinner. If they wanted to play four seamers, that would be fantastic. But the other thing that they have is batting depth as well, and they've got people to cover every occasion. You know, they've got both Heinrich Klaasen and Glenn Phillips can keep wicket. Upendra Yadav can keep wicket as well. Glenn Phillips, if he's not keeping wicket, he can be bowling off spin and be an absolute gun fielder. They just have something for every occasion. Man of the moment as well, Harry Brook. Like, I'm really excited to see what he can do in that middle order, sort of number 3, number 4. Yeah, it's just a really exciting side, and I think that they have a really strong chance if they can gel. That's going to be the main thing: is can they gel? Can they understand their roles? If they can do that, then they can definitely be a contender for this tournament.
Yeah, but I've got to say they've done their job very well. Bowling wise, I'm very confident with them in the power play because they've got Bhuvaneshwar Kumar who can swing it around corners. If they play Marco Janssen, they've kind of got the middle overs sorted, or Adil Rashid. The death bowling is going to rely quite heavily on Natarajan, I think. I don't know if they've really got any other very well recognized death bowlers. I know that like Fazal Haq Faruqi is a very good bowler, but whether or not he gets a game, I absolutely agree with you that the cover is really good. I think Akil Hussain is really underrated as well.
He can bowl on the death.
Yeah, as it was left arm spinner, isn't it? But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do. I think bowling wise, there's a little bit of like potentially more gaps you could pick, but batting wise, very, very exciting.
Yeah, agree. I think, as you say, highlighting that death bowling, I reckon Boovy's going to have to up his skills and be able to support in that death bowling, because through the middle overs with Markram, Umran Malik, and then Washington Sundar, and then one of Rashid or Janssen, they've got the middle overs covered. It's just going to be that death bowling. Whether if Rashid is playing, he's used at the death, as he quite often was for Owen Morgan. And he is a great bowler there. But with Adil Rashid, you do want to get him on early because he is that wicket taking threat. So, yeah, I'm excited for this team. It's going to be good to see, what they do.
Yeah, and actually, we're quite blessed because the first time we see Sunrisers this year in the IPL, they're going to be playing at home against Rajasthan Royals, who I would say potentially the favourites for this tournament. They had an incredible tournament last year. I think they played just very, very good cricket. A lot was down to Jos Buttler being in incredible form. And we'll get onto the batting a little bit. But one major addition that they've had is Jason Holder, who has kind of bridged the gap between bowling and batting. He obviously offers some very useful bowling, and he's 7'12", and he swings a very long-handled bat, so he can clear the ropes. So I think bowling-wise, they look incredible. The only issue I see is that what's his name? Prasid Krishna is injured. And I think that's a huge loss. I think he's been brilliant.
Agree.
But looking at their squad, I don't see many gaps at all. What do you think?
If anything, I think Indian fast bowling
Mm.
is the one thing they're missing a bit. I think they've got great cover in the spin department. Yuvendra Chahal, Ravichandran Ashwin, the spin twins. I think they'll be fantastic. I think they've invested quite heavily into their overseas quicks. So Trent Bolt and Obed McCoy, maybe. We might all, and as you say, Jason Holder as well. That's where they've sort of plugged those gaps. I mean, there is K Massive, but he's been mixed over the years. We've not really seen too much of him in the IPL. I think for them, they're going to struggle with as similar to where they were last year, where they've got too many top order batters trying to bat in the middle order. In the middle order, they've got the same issue with the fact that they've got Devdutt Padikkal, Sanju Samson, and Josh Butler, who all three of them will realistically want to be opening the batting. And then if he gets a game, Joe Root as well. I think Joe Root was really good for. I think it was Dubai Capitals.
Yeah.
In the ILT, he was really class. And I think it was good to see Joe Root again back in the IPL with an international contract, showing his skills. Now that he's taken the step back from the England captaincy, really excited by that. One player I am excited about is Donovan Ferreira, who really impressed in the SA20 for the best team, Joburg Super Kings, who were, he played some match-winning knocks and looked fantastic, can bowl a bit, can keep wicket. Again, one of these guys that is that ultimate all-rounder. Even though, Joburg Super Kings didn't quite do as well as they'd have wanted to, I think he came and he scored in one of the first games, I think he scored 80 or something off no deliveries at all. He was striking at nearly 200. It was one of the best knocks I've seen. And I think it was 82 not out, I think it was. But really impressed by him. And again, if he can get in the side, it's going to be difficult with Shimron Hetmeyer, Jason Holder, Josh Butler, and Trent Bolt. And Joe Root in there as well. But if he can get in, it's going to be really good. I want to see Adam Zampa play as well.
Yeah. But I think what you've highlighted is that they've got good cover for pretty much everything. If they've got, an overseas slot where they can play that bowler and they need the spinner, they've got Zampa. They need a seamer, they've got McCoy. They need middle overs hitting, they've got Ferreira. They need more of an anchor role, top of the order. They've got Root. So, and, they need Indian spin cover. They've got themselves Murugan Ashwin. So I think as a side, it's very, very, very strong. For me, I'm agreeing with you that I still think they've got too many top order batters.
Oh, I didn't even mention Jaiswal, did I? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Jaiswal and Butler open. And they'd probably have Samson 3 and Padikkal 4 like they did last time. And then Hetmeyer 5. What's his face? The Ryan Parag at 6. Holder 7. Ashwin 8, or as a floater, wherever you want him. And then they can probably have Kuldeep Sen, Yuzi Chahal, and Saini. I'm 100% with you that the bowling is going to be the issue, and I think that's going to be where they need to use the impact player rule the most. Getting Sandeep Sharma in the power play potentially, really swinging it about, and then swapping him out for another batter, something like that. Because Navdeep Saini was very good for RCB for a bit, but he's been quite inconsistent and a considerable drop-off. Kuldeep Sen, I think, had very, very, a good season last year, and showed some very, very good potential. But I think overall, you're right, that Indian seam attack might struggle a little. But overall, I would say it's between Rajasthan and Sunrisers to be my top bet for this IPL.
Yeah.
But if you want to know our predictions, all three cricket nerds' predictions on what the table's going to look like, you need to check out our Instagram or our Twitter. It's in the link tree down below. Because yeah, we'll be having proper think. Don't call us out if we've changed our minds since we did videos. We've just talked it all through now. So yeah, we're gonna put out who we think, what our predictions are gonna be. So give that a follow. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry these have been kind of so late, but it's out now. And follow us because we will be releasing lots of IPL content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.